From the National Newsroom of the Canadian Press, I'm Karen Rebo. Aviation law experts say there are legal options available to Air Canada passengers injured in Sunday's fatal collision at New York's LaGuardia Airport. Gabor Lukács, a passenger rights advocate, says Air Canada could be on the hook for hundreds of thousands of dollars per passenger. He says an international agreement that standardizes compensation holds airlines liable for death or bodily injury. He says under the 1999 Montreal Convention, injured passengers could each be compensated up to $300,000. U.S. aviation lawyer Kevin Durkin says they could also sue the American Aviation Authority and the local port authority. A jet's runway collision with a fire truck killed both pilots and sent 41 people to hospital. The wreckage of that Air Canada jet will soon be moved to a hangar.
Air Canada says crews in the hangar can start the long process of sorting through all the baggage and personal items that still remain on the plane. U.S. officials are leading the investigation into the crash, but the Transportation Safety Board of Canada has sent 3 of its investigators to New York City to participate in the probe. Jason White, The Canadian Press.
The American-Israeli war on Iran is almost 4 weeks old now, and Iran and the U.S. have hardened their positions in the face of America's push for a ceasefire. Crude oil prices have dipped a bit, amid hope that the conflict in the Middle East may ease, but they remain far above prices before the U.S. and Israel launched their attack against Iran. The Canadian Automobile Association says Canadian gasoline prices averaged $1.70 per litre yesterday. It's still much higher than the $1.30 of a month ago. The Yukon's energy minister says the territory is going to need more than $1 billion for critical remediation work to its electricity grid, for increased generation capacity, and to support Arctic sovereignty. Ted Laking says the need is urgent after frigid temperatures in December almost led to blackouts in Whitehorse.
So we don't have time to sit around and hypothesize about these things. It's no longer theoretical. It's a real and serious risk for the North.
Officials in all 3 Canadian territories say their isolated electricity grids need improvements, but they don't have a population big enough to pay for it themselves. Ontario's finance minister will unveil Ontario's budget today.
Peter Bethlenfalvy has said Ontario must plan in case of tougher times as U.S. President Donald Trump's trade war continues and global conflicts push strong headwinds against the economy. Ontario's deficit earlier this year stood at $13.4 billion. Bethlenfalvy has already announced some new spending ahead of the budget, including an additional $325 million toward primary care and $1.4 billion to cover the province's share of the HST for some homebuyers. Alison Jones, The Canadian Press, Toronto.
This is The Canadian Press. In sports, the New York Rangers are officially out of playoff contention after falling 4-3 to the Maple Leafs in Toronto last night. The Leafs are also set to miss the playoffs for the first time since 2016. The night's only other NHL game saw Boston edge the Atlantic Division leading Buffalo Sabres 4-3 in overtime. The Major League Baseball season is officially underway. The only game on the sked saw Aaron Judge go hitless on opening day for the first time, but his New York Yankees still shut out San Francisco 7-0. The Toronto Blue Jays will open their season tomorrow night, hosting the Athletics. In basketball, the Toronto Raptors lost to the Clippers in Los Angeles, 119-94. The Clippers got 27 points from former Raptor Kawhi Leonard, and the Oklahoma City Thunder's 12-game win streak has come to an end. The Boston Celtics rallying to down the defending champs 119-109. From the Canadian Press, I'm Karen Rebo.